Hello, epic viewers from around the multiverse. We're pretty bask in unprecedented glory because today I'm here to deliver a tragic story. Unfortunately, to my dismay, 169 of my clone trooper figures that I recently procured via eBay have been stolen. I've been eviscerated out of my property. Some sadistic, malicious, cunning, conniving individual has stolen my property. And distraught, dismay, and disappointment has ensued, to say the least. I opened a case on eBay. Unfortunately, they sided in favor of the seller. He provided a tracking number, and it shows it was delivered left to this individual, but at the time of delivery there were no individuals at my address. So I've been eviscerated on my property, and I'm contemplating about getting a P.O. box so that I could circumvent this from happening ever again. I've lost $547.50. I received nothing for my hard-earned money. It took me over 1 week of working my shell off, of getting next to no sleep, of barely getting to eat, to be able to generate the revenue to afford to buy the 169 Clone Trooper action figures that I've wanted now for decades. The lot includes the following. Let me just showcase it real briefly. So here are the images on eBay. I got 169 clone troopers from the same seller. I ordered them in 2 separate orders, and the total culminated in being $547.50. So I paid an exorbitant, hefty, lofty amount of money for these clone troopers, and this was likely going to be the last clone trooper lot that I ever procured in my life. I never procured a clone trooper lot as sizable as this one. 100 of the clone trooper action figures, as you see on the left, were part of a Star Wars Clone Trooper Phase 2 lot. These are the Phase 2 Clone Troopers, and these are the Phase 1 Clone Troopers, and there's 69 Phase 1 Clone Troopers and 60 and 100 Phase 2 Clone Troopers. These action figures are meticulously detailed. They have decent sculpts, decent textures, decent shadings, and decent aesthetics. You know, they emulate their movie counterparts, so they're decent figures, to say the least. And they seem to also come with their armaments, so they look like they're poised for battle and ready and rearing to enter the fray and commence fighting. They also have latitude for dynamic posability. These have more than 5 points of articulation, and are vastly superior to the new Star Wars action figures that have been degraded to only possess 5 points of articulation. Nonetheless, let's get back to the situation at hand. I apologize about digressing. I'm just truly appalled as someone has a gall to encroach on the non-aggression principle and eviscerate me and my property. It's completely sadistic. Even though the item shows as delivered, I have no purview over that, and I never received it, so I just detest and disdain paying for something that I never ever received. You know, the whole notion of it makes me sick. You know, people should be adherent to the non-aggression principle. People should demonstrate moral rectitude. They should demonstrate values. You know, every decision should be predicated upon morality. You know, I work my shell off to generate my revenue. I work hard for everything I earn. I get next to no sleep. I make tremendous sacrifices. Then someone winds up eviscerating me on my property. Had I known that this little calamity would have transpired, I would have gotten a P.O. box to circumvent this from transpiring. Even though the tracking number shows it's left as individual, there was no signature. eBay sided in favor of the seller. I have no recourse as eBay, and if the credit card company denies my dispute, then I'll likely never utilize the credit card again, and that'll be the end of that. But I just dread having to succumb to a sunk cost like this. And I can't believe someone would have the gall to eviscerate me and my property, or anyone else. You know, it's just completely immoral and sadistic and inhumane. You know, I just is quite unfortunate. I guess I'm going to minimize my purchases on eBay. Now I prefer to buy in person. I'll probably get a P.O. box. Probably get a P.O. Box. My faith in humanity has plunged and plummeted after this, you know. This was something that I've wanted for decades. I would have gotten 169 clone troopers for $547.50. They're practically unscathed or in near mint condition. But now I get nothing except $547.50 of credit card debt, and then that accrues interest each and every day. So the whole situation is just despicable, to say the least, and it makes me sick. But if someone eviscerates you of your property, you know, if your merchandise is left unintended, then it would behoove you to get a P.O. box. So, you know, I'm constantly working. Items get delivered while I'm at work. I can't stay home all day and wait for items to be delivered, so it creates an issue. And other individuals are sadistic, you know, they have ill will, they're unscrupulous, you know, they don't have a modicum more rectitude. So it would just benefit me to get a P.O. box so I can avoid situations like this from transpiring. But I'll probably abstain from buying stores action figures probably the rest of my life, because what happened was repugnant, and I'll never be able to recover my money. I got nothing for $547.50 except credit card debt with 0 action figures. The whole situation is utterly appalling, to say the least, and it's just vile, you know. But nothing I can do except move on and just accept this purchase as a sunk cost. I have no recourse. Someone eviscerated me on my property, and the figures are gone forever. You know, they're in the possession now of a sadistic individual who stole my property. I hope that you found this video to be intriguing and marvelous and insightful. I recommend buying items in person and abstaining from utilizing eBay, because you have no recourse. Someone steals your property. Have a wonderful, marvelous, blissful, stellar day. Goodbye.